For most of us, birthdays as a child meant birthday parties, presents, and cake with trick candles. As we grow older, though, most of the spectacle of birthdays seems to have worn off, while for some, birthdays were never a happy day to begin with. We share our birthday experiences and what they mean to us as we get another birthday closer to death. Today on Talkily.
All right.
Okay.
Can we do this in
Pirate
by 11?
radio? Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Right, that's our goal, guys. We're gonna do this in less than 50, before that thing. When that thing hits like 10 or 15 minutes. Right, when it hits 10, we're gonna be starting to wrap it up. When it hits 15, we're gonna finish.
Gone in 15 minutes.
All right, because we are another birthday closer to death, and we don't have the time.
I feel like that should have been the intro.
It is the intro. Time.
Hey.
Hi, everyone. This is AWC. I'm here today with Christian,
Hey.
Sid,
Hello.
and Laura.
Hi, everyone.
And because I think that was apt, yes, that is going to be the intro. Today we are here talking about being another birthday closer to death because
Death.
yes, because we are getting older.
Oh, are we ever?
Oh, no, we're not getting younger, well, for one thing. So
Yeah, we're no Benjamin Buttons.
Am I correct in saying that I am the youngest person here?
That is correct.
actually, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be really fun as I talk about how old and decrepit I feel, how my 29th birthday that I had 2 days ago really set me into a self-reflection, feeling all the, feeling death near.
What was that, Sonny? I can't hear you.
You got to zoom in on the grandpa glasses there. This is going to be great because I've been, really thinking a lot about the inevitability of death now and how like your body is just going to fail you at any point. You can't really control it.
Yeah.
And so what's it like being even further along on the path?
It's
I feel as if I'm still 19 years old. How about that?
See, okay, yeah, Sid has the correct attitude.
Yeah, we all hate him now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't let me finish. That doesn't mean like I feel more like 50 or something, like with my back issues and so on. But regardless.
Yeah, I like every time someone asks me my age, I want to say 24 because that's sort of mentally how I feel. But if I like stop to examine my body, I'm like, oh no. You are very clearly over 30.
Let's take a step back. Do you guys remember when you were kids and you celebrated your birthday? Wasn't it like the best thing ever?
Yeah, I had some truly spectacular birthdays.
You get-
Yeah, 'cause you think you're immortal. It's being a child is experiencing a kind of immortality in that you don't understand death, so you can't think about it.
Death actually caused me a great deal of terror and anxiety as a child.
Really?
I used to have nightmares about it, and that sort of finally stopped at probably around like 9 or 10. I'm not entirely sure what changed, if it was just sort of I accepted my mortality in a way that I hadn't before, and I was sort of okay with it after that.
Am I going to go through this process in just like a belated way? Because I didn't. That didn't happen to me till I was like 25, and then it's like, oh, now I have to think about this. And
Well, first of all, happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank-
Oh, yes.
thank you.
It was recently Christian's birthday.
yeah, that's everything. This whole thing revolves around me as a result.
Yeah.
Not really. No.
Now, in a previous episode, he lambasted me for not bringing him barbecue. I didn't get you a cake either.
No birthday cake, no barbecue, no presents, no treats.
No ceremony.
Ugh.
Nice use of lambastedly.
I feel.
Yes, I nailed it.
I feel so disrespected. But hey, I accept it. I'm old. I don't have any value to anyone anymore.
That's not true.
That's
That
not
is
true.
absolutely not true.
But it does bring up a good point. I mean, when you were a kid, a birthday was an event, right? Every year, when you were a kid, you get presents, you'd have people come over, you'd have friends over, you'd have games, and we'll talk about when you transition to a teen later. But now, as an adult, it's like for some people, it's just another day.
Just another day, just another number, but like it depending on I guess how you grew up and stuff. There'll be people out there who will still care about you. Where it's like, hey, regardless whether you like it or not, we're throwing you a party. Here's a birthday cake. Let's make your day even a little bit more better than it was yesterday or the day before or whatever, right? I mean, like, yes, I hear that there's people out there who absolutely hate birthdays and they just want the whole day to go away. And
I know people like that for sure.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I understand. But then there are others where, like where if you throw them, like even have them like maybe a little cupcake or something, they will be probably most happiest person in the world, at least that day anyway. So yeah, I mean, it comes down to a perspective of concept of, hey, like let's throw a party for someone just because we can, and yeah.
It's more of a cool sort of coming together experience as an adult, I think. Like you really get to almost more consciously choose what you want to do on your birthday and do meaningful things with your friends and family. Whereas as a kid, I feel like the experience is much more passive. It's someone organizing a party for you as a 9-year-old or whatever, and then receiving, a gift or whatever, or your relatives will come to visit. But you're not so much in control of it. It's something that's happening to you rather than that something that you're doing or really participating in an active way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you guys think of surprise parties?
Hate them.
Hate them.
This is going to sound really terrible, but I really like to control my entertainment experience if an event is celebrating me.
Yeah, I hear you. The idea seems nice in theory, but like that's the exact same thing where I feel like in practice I would just be stressed out and like want to be more in control of it, and it would just end up being this weird harrowing experience of like, why is everyone here?
This anxiety going on. Right now.
It's like the focus is more on you, which is not something I particularly enjoy as an adult.
Yeah, where if I'm in charge of planning my party, I'm curating the experience for my party guests, and it's not so much a day about me, but it's about bringing people together and the experience that they had. I'm just using my birthday as an excuse to get a large group of people together and cook for them because I love cooking for people. I don't do it as often as I would like. And it also requires me to clean my house.
It's almost a good excuse though. Like we had a housewarming party. It was an unofficial birthday party, and it was just a good excuse to clean the house and have people over and set something up for other people, which I think is that's a good distinction between when you're a kid, you're not really planning things for other people generally. Whatever. You're taking you and your friends are going to Dark Zone or whatever.
Oh, I remember Dark Zone.
Dark Zone's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what? Birthdays at like places like Dark Zone. Dark Zone was like a laser tag place. So laser tag places or like a Chuck E. Cheese.
I can still taste the pizza at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, they get the little tickets, right? And you trade it in for a crap gift or a crap thing that was like
or something that's
way
like
less.
or like or the other. I'd say maybe more of like an off-brand of Chuck E. Cheese. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I remember when that was
Fuddruckers or
Topo Gijo's.
Yeah.
Remember that place?
Oh yes, yes. It really is the discount
Chuck
E. Cheese.
Yes,
that was
very much so.
That was
But
great.
it outlived Chuck E. Cheese also.
It did.
In a way, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Now there are places that we have like these multi-tainment places.
Multi-tainment
You have like
Uptown.
So you have like places that are like a mix of bowling and arcade and putting and laser tag, right?
And then they're opening up the rec room, which will be sometime early next year. That's a multi-tainment place where you have arcades, you have a pub there too, you have VR like experiences there, and a whole wide of options where you can pretty much enjoy not just, there's some age limits like at certain time periods, but it's generally an arcade for adults basically. That's what the rec room is. And there's already places like in Calgary and Vancouver and Toronto where they have them. And I've been to the one in Calgary last year, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are places where you want to have a birthday, even whether you're a kid or a kid at heart.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's also the over the top home birthdays.
Oh yeah,
like I never had an event or like a outside the home birthday from I think 6 to 12. There was a bit of a disaster at a play zone when I was 5, which we won't get into. But I mean, my parents would go out of their way. They created for my 11th birthday, it was an Egyptian theme, and we turned our entire sunroom into the inside of a pyramid. There was ancient Egyptian themed games. There was like a mummy wrap in the backyard with toilet paper.
No, that was for sure something I looked forward to every year. Was like, what cake is my mom going to make? Like, she would make a cool cake or something. And yeah, just like, I feel like it's birthdays for kids are more avenues for parents to express their creativity, really, in the same way that when you have a birthday, now you're sort of in that role where you're doing this for your friends. When you're a kid, your parents are doing that for you, but also a little bit maybe for themselves, in the sense that they enjoy the creativity, decorating, all that kind of stuff.
Well, let's switch gears over to now, there's 1.5 Filipinos here.
that is actually true. I'm the one.
I'm the half.
Full one. And, yeah.
And as a kid, so there are two things I want to touch on. The first thing is that there, as the Filipino culture, we're very tight. And I would be invited to, or my parents would rather be invited to a kid's birthday party, and then I would come along because I'm a kid, and we go to a big restaurant, and I would not know who the person's I did not know the person. I don't know who this birthday is for. But I just remember, one of the things that people loved about coming to my birthday parties, so my mom would cook, right? And she's Filipino, so we get all the Filipino food, and everyone loved that. Sometimes I think people love the food more than they love me. There are kids sometimes who would show up, but I'd have no idea who they were. But no, we'd go to these big parties, right? And you would, it's like a dinner, right? We're celebrating a birthday. So you have, and it's not just with, not just in Filipino culture. There are many cultures where this happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are also bar and bat mitzvahs, right? Where it's a coming of age for a Jewish boy or girl, and it would be a big celebration for Filipinos. It's a debut, right? Where a girl turns 18 and she's becoming an adult. I think guys can have a debut, but usually it's later when they're 21 or something like that. Or if it happens at all, it's less of a event, I think.
Well, there's
right?
also 7th birthdays for both boys and girls, and that happens too. Like, it's an early coming of age where,
like, 7th birthdays?
Yeah, 7th birthday. Yeah.
That is pretty early.
They threw that for me when I was 7, and then same thing with my sister when she was 7. But yeah, like that. Yeah, there's it depends on the cultures, right? Like, yeah, as you mentioned, but mitzvahs or bar mitzvahs,
quinceañeras.
Yeah,
quinceañeras,
yeah, those are big too, and yeah,
but some of them are huge.
Huge.
I mean, because we were talking about parents throwing it for themselves. I mean, gigantic. Like the cost of a wedding for some of these.
Very seriously.
Yeah, and it's one thing to take it seriously, but I mean, for me, I think like, when you're hearing about how much is spent on some of these gigantic celebrations, it isn't enough to buy a car. You know what I mean? And it's huge.
Wild stuff.
Yeah. And it's because I guess I feel a lot of parents feel that it's important for their child to have that, right? Because it's like a coming of age thing.
Yeah, those things do seem valuable. Those ceremonies or moments of rites of passage and stuff like that.
And it's also culturally, significant. I don't know if that's where you're going with that, Chris.
Oh, no. I mean, well, yeah, to some extent. I mean, it's not something that like I grew up with, but it is cool seeing cultures where that there is a sort of formal way to mark a passage that otherwise is sort of indefinite. Right? Like, not that I'm sure, once you turn 18, you don't necessarily always feel like an adult. It's the same way that sometimes you might not be 18 yet. You might already feel like an adult if you're taking on certain responsibilities and stuff like that, depending on your situation.
Yeah, and I think too, like when you get older, and older than us, I mean, at some point, we may have kids, we may have kids that have kids, so we grandparents. Because and I mean, and if that's never going to happen, I mean, we probably have had we had grandparents where we would go to their birthdays, and I feel like at a certain age too, becomes less for them and more for you too, right? Where it's less about them celebrating their birthday and getting another year closer to their deaths, and more about being able to spend time with the people that they have, right? And being able to spend time with people that they love, their kids, their grandkids, and it becomes more of an excuse to get together and celebrate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
What are your favorite or most awful received gifts that you can think of?
For my 16th birthday, I got a laptop. It was a joint gift between my maternal grandmother and my parents, and it was specifically given to me along with a printer and a beautiful leather laptop case because I was going to be attending a semi-private school the following year, and they wanted to make sure that my brother and I weren't fighting over the one computer that we had. That was a really lovely gift, and I was blown away.
I think mine would probably also be like a computer. Yeah, because that just when I was in school, that's such a game changer in terms of being able to do your own assignments and stuff like that. Just in terms of the sheer the value that it gives you as a student, is probably the best.
For me, I don't recall ever getting birthday present, and if I did get one, I probably don't remember. I don't remember what it was. Generally, it was just me having lots of food and lots of cake in the end, and you're having your family and some friends over, and yeah, I didn't really get much presents for birthdays. Maybe from the occasional one or two. Actually, I did. I did get presents, I do remember now. But if I had to pick a favorite out of all of them, it would probably not exist. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, it's hard to tell because they come and go, right? It's every year, and yeah. So yeah.
For me, there are two that stick out in my mind. As a young teenager, it was limited. There were limited supplies of the PlayStation 2. And there's some stores you had to actually enter a draw just to be called to see if you would purchase it. And my dad, I guess, went to a bunch of places and he was able to get it for me. So I remember coming home from school one day, and he was like, "Oh, they didn't get it. I'm sorry." I'm like, "Oh no!" And he's like, "Here you go." I tricked you for a bit, yeah. And it was like one of the best presents ever. And then
awesome.
as a older, not older, still young, but when I a little bit later on in my life, when I was still young, but not as young. I was after high school. I had a car and I needed parts. And my dad again, got me a catalytic converter.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Those things are actually extremely expensive. They are extremely expensive.
But I don't know. To me, both of these stick out in my mind because it's like when you get older, your priorities change. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know. Like thinking about it now, like being older, getting older every year when the birthday comes around. I think I try not to think about being another birthday closer to death, and more about trying to.
Seems healthy to not think of it that way.
Yeah. I try not to think of it that way because it's like, it's basically the celebration of my life, really. Like
continuing to live, not
a celebration of survival.
I ultimately, really, if you think about it.
Because your birthday is after a year of living.
It's like a milestone. So you live this long.
Yeah, so
give yourself a cake.
I think we should all try and think about, if you're out there and you really hate your birthday, try not to think of it as being another year where you're older. Think about it as being another year where you have gotten wiser, you have learned new things, and you have essentially survived another year on this planet with the rest of us.
In other words, you have survived an entire year orbiting around the sun, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is great. Because as long as we're on this planet, hey, we're awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool being on the planet as opposed to off the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
which would really suck.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Like a vacuum.
yeah, being
well,
in a vacuum,
like if
with
you're not fully protected, I mean, you could tell the 6 brave souls that are orbiting around our planet
I mean,
right now.
even if you're in like a space station or whatever,
Yeah.
you're still getting aren't you still getting hit with tons of like various radioactive waves?
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, but there's still protections, right?
There are
They have
protections against them, right?
They're still protected.
You're still protected, but you're still bombarded with.
You're getting hit by some stuff that you do not want to get hit by.
Yeah.
And that's why there's only limits up there. But anyway,
I'll leave you with this one story. It happened to a friend / relative of mine, and I find it to be one of the best birthday stories ever. He hated the fact that he was getting older. He was going to be turning 38, and it might have, I can't remember if that's the exact age, but let's just say for example 38. And he was not happy about it, right? So a whole year, for like half the year, because he realized his birthday's coming, he's dreading it. He's dreading that his birthday's coming up. So we're sitting here at the dinner table, and we're there to celebrate his birthday. And it's like, yeah, well, I guess I'm 38, right? And his mom says, what are you talking about? Like, what? I'm 38. No, you're not. Yeah, yes, I am. Like, no, you're not 38. She goes through the list and she's like, I'm your mother. I think I know when I gave birth to you. She cites his brother's age, and the year that he was born, and he goes through with it. And she goes through with it, to say, no, you're 37. You're not 38.
He got confused about the year that he was born.
He does the math in his head, and he realizes, I'm 37.
wait,
I can't blame him because I'm 34 now. And the only reason I remember I'm 34 is because last year was 33. And the only reason I remembered I was 33 was because it's 3-3.
It's the Jesus age, right?
I would forget how old I was too. So I can't really blame. I didn't admit to him at the time because I thought it was just so hilarious. But yes, so in that day, he essentially gained back an entire year of his life on his birthday.
So wait,
daylight savings time on steroids.
Daylight savings date, or
daylight birthday state or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when he did turn 38 the following year, it wasn't as bad. I feel like.
I wonder how people who were born on February 29th would feel right now about that. After
I think they'd feel pretty young.
Super young. Yeah. No kidding, eh?
Thanks again for joining us today on Talkily for another cool discuss. Joining me today for another birthday closer to death was Sid, Laura, and Christian. Intro-outro music was Illuminate by Ethan Rank, found on Artlist. All additional music also acquired through Artlist. All images and videos in our show were acquired through Pixabay. Podcasting services acquired through Spreaker. And if you enjoy the show and would like to support us, please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Visit CoolDiscuss.com, visit our merch store, or consider making a donation so we can continue to produce awesome content for you. Please keep in mind, we are just normal, everyday people talking about things we think we know something about. We are not experts on anything. Always take everything you read, see, or hear with a grain of salt. Never get all your information from only one place, and always be willing to question. This is AWC thanking you once again for joining us.